if you're waiting and everyone else is waiting, like what do you think is going to happen once interest rates drop? We're going to see a repeat of
Right.
2020. So you're going to be able to get a house at, call it 5.5%. But if you're paying an additional $80,000 for that exact same house,
Right.
like, is it worth it? So
Hmm.
I guess that's the messaging that we try to get across. It's just if you look at any house, you know, at any given period and you look 5 years forward, there's a
Hmm.
high probability that it hasn't gone down in price, it's gone up.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros podcast. I'm Kristen, and I'm here with Sava Shqutaj. She is the VP at Hoot Home Loans. She's also at VS Capital Group. We're going to get all into loans, borrowing, first-time home buying, and everything in between. So thank you for being here, Sava.
Thank you for having me.
So let's just start at the beginning. What got you interested in the real estate market?
So, long story short, I started my career while I was in college in life insurance. So I was actually going door to door selling life insurance in some very sketchy areas. And then I transitioned to property and casualty. So officially started making my way into, call it, corporate America or desktop America. It was actually one of my clients who I was helping insure their home that introduced me to the mortgage side. And we went back and forth for about 4 months before I actually sat down with them and had a real conversation around joining the lending space. And after sort of seeing the opportunity, it was honestly a no-brainer. That was 10 years ago. Needless to say, a lot of things progressed to get me to where I am now. But it was one of my clients.
Yeah. And so what did that look like when you were first starting out in the industry? When did you first kind of have the thought of like, oh, this can actually be my full-time thing?
Yeah. So once I made the decision to transition from insurance to mortgages, everything kind of happened pretty rapidly. I went and got my license, all of that between studying, the state exam, everything else was about a month turnaround time. There was about 3 months of training within the organization that I was with before I was basically put onto the selling floor. And it was kind of like your traditional call center where it was very high demand, long hours, but it was great. That's where I started my career, and it was probably one of the best decisions that I've ever made, and met some incredible people along the way.
I love that. And when did you transition into investing yourself?
So not so long after, I entered the mortgage space in early 2016. I actually purchased my first investment property in 2017. And then I picked up about 17 to 19 properties since then.
Wow.
And kept pretty much most of them.
That's amazing. And you have some in the US and then also some abroad, correct?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
So I started investing in open plans in Dubai a year ago. So I don't know if I'd call myself a Dubai investor just yet. I only have two, but I am
That's it. That's a Dubai investor.
But I'm so excited because it's such an incredible. I went there a couple of years ago, and just the culture and the energy and the environment, and it's just so completely different. So long term, I don't know if I'm ever going to retire, but when I do, slow down at some point, having a couple places there, or at least one place, I'm excited for it.
That's amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about the Dubai housing market?
Well, what attracted me to it is, naturally the tax benefits. So you don't pay any taxes on the acquisition. There's basically no taxes there's like a small government fee, but there's no taxes when you purchase or when you sell. And with these, new construction builds, both of my projects are anticipated to be completed at the beginning of 2028. So typically what happens with these projects is, once you purchase, you put 20 to 30% down initially. You're paying a percentage for the, call it 3 to 5 years, depending on how long the project takes to complete. And then you have the option to either like refinance and get into another mortgage or pay it off in that duration. But what typically ends up happening in that timeline, more what we see with past projects, which again, past performance doesn't always indicate future performance, but typically the properties sell out. So by the time they sell, even if you don't want to keep it, you've already gained quite a bit of equity.
Wow.
So you usually have a good return right off the bat. And then I
that's
mentioned all the tax benefits.
Yes. Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, that seems like such an exciting market to get into.
It really is. I almost feel like it's so not necessarily untapped, but there's a lot of people afraid to make investments outside of the US, even if the opportunity is abundantly clear.
Yeah,
And it
and
was
how do you even go about that? Are there special like things you need to do to invest abroad, or can anybody do it?
That's the crazy part. I mean, especially working in lending, because when we get approved for a loan or when we want to do something, it's like a complicated process. It's a 30-day process. The Dubai government has just simplified. It's just pardon me, it's such a simplified process where like all the extra unnecessary paperwork is like eliminated. The entire purchase agreement was like 3 page, call it 5 pages. Simple language, covers A to Z without all the amendments and all the hypothetical scenarios and everything else that we have to disclose in the US. And it's like a 40-page document.
Yeah.
And then with the funds, as long as it's no different than you just got to verify that the funds are legitimate, and then the transfer is usually a couple days wire transfer. Like it was such an easy process, and communication was extremely professional, but like direct to the point. So I love the way they communicate because there's no unnecessary.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes no, I don't know if that makes sense. Like I think a lot of us are, and I get emails all the time where it's like AI generated, where it's like that entire email could have been cut down in like 5 words. But like you had, we have AI trying to make it sound more professional. It's like just get back to simple communication. It makes all of our lives easier. And
Well, that's fine. No, keep going.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
No, I was just gonna say, and they actually have it like all figured out. It's like to the point and quick, and that's that's my speed. I ended up getting another deal, but you also want to make sure that you vet the people that you're working with. I've, honestly, a bunch of the professionals I've worked with, I've actually come through social media,
Oh, wow.
as well as just been able to like verify them through LinkedIn. And then once, not necessarily that LinkedIn is a way to verify anyone, but it kind of gives you a little bit of a idea of who you're working with and their background.
Mhm.
And then the UAE also has like where you can actually verify that they're licensed directly. There's like they have apps for everything. So the government, you can verify information like automatically.
Yeah. So it seems like they're really incentivizing people to buy property.
Yeah. And I got a gold visa out of it.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's really exciting. And
Hey,
so
it's a little
kind of going back to the home lending, Hoot sounds like such an exciting venture. What advice would you give to somebody? Like, what are the mistakes that you see people make when they're trying to lend money?
I mean, I think one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen is people often try to qualify themselves and end up disqualifying themselves without having any cause.
Hmm.
There's this perception that homeownership is really expensive. Truthfully, call it, 2 dozen homes just in the last, less than 12 years. Now, interest rates are definitely higher. No one's going to dispute that rates are high right now. But trying to time the market 99% of the time ends up working against you.
Right.
You have to be very analytical to be able to predict the market, and we're in a market like we've never seen before. So trying to correctly predict it is almost impossible. Everyone obviously can make some educated guesses, but no further than that. One thing that is guaranteed is that rents are going to continue to go up. So you either lock in an interest rate that might be a little bit higher than what we've seen in the market in recent years, with the hope of it going down, and you can refinance, or you can guarantee that your landlord is going to continue to raise the rent prices. And at what point does it become too expensive? And what's the alternative? Because houses are not going to get cheaper. Historically, if you take a look at any house in a 5-year duration, there's a high probability that it's almost doubled in equity or price.
Right. Yeah. I hear so many people who just kind of want to wait, and they're always like, well, wait until it's better. Wait, wait, wait. What would you say to those people?
Yeah, and then we hear it all the time too. And it's like, again, if you're waiting and everyone else is waiting, like, what do you think is going to happen once interest rates drop? We're going to see a repeat of 2020. So you're going to be able to get a house at, call it 5.5%. But if you're paying an additional $80,000 for that exact same house,
Right.
like, is it worth it? So I guess that's the messaging that we try to get across. It's just, if you look at any house, at any given period, and you look 5 years forward, there's a high probability that it hasn't gone down in price, it's gone up, regardless of what the market or what the rate is. I think there's this misconception, because we went from, call it under 3%, which should have never happened. Like, truthfully, that was a mistake on our leadership, on the leadership level. So we went from 3% to 7% in a matter of 6 months, and then we stayed at 7%. So there's this idea that we've seen 3%. There's a probability that we can see 3% again. But if you look at historic rates, we've never had it before, and there's a high probability that it's not going to come back around in our lifetime. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, for all of our sakes.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
But, you have homeowners that haven't been, I'm in that position myself. I'm contemplating selling my home. But, at the same time, I'm at 299. So it's like, even if I do sell, like, where do I go? So
Right.
if it makes financial sense and you can afford it, don't wait for property values to go.
Right.
Because if you're waiting, everyone else is too.
Totally. Yeah. And I think people have an expectation that all of a sudden prices are just going to drop. Like in the next month, they're all just going to fall. And it's really more of a gradual shift in the market.
Again, I don't see anything that would cause property value. Like, even if interest rates go down, there's this misconception that, like, because rates are high, that homeowners are going to be forced to drop their rate, like drop their prices. They're not. They're sitting at under 3%. They can rent the property house, buy another property, and have the landlord pay for essentially for both homes
Mhm.
because of where rent prices are. Construction prices are skyrocketing. Inventory is getting limited because of the tariffs. So construction not being built faster to meet the demand. Homeowners are not underwater with their mortgages. Most homeowners have a lot of equity. We're not in 2008 where everyone was underwater with their homes. Majority of homeowners who purchased, call it 2020, are probably sitting on, half of their house paid off with the rest just free cash.
Yeah.
So even if they're financially struggling, they can just take out a line of credit or tap into their equity. There's nothing that's going to cause property values to drastically go down. So the idea that there's like this magical pill that's going to fix the real estate industry, it's
Right.
unfortunate, but that's not happening.
Totally.
Again, I hope something, in order for property values to go down, we would have to see a significant amount of foreclosures. Nothing else is going to cause that, and we're not seeing it.
Yeah.
There's no foreclosures on the horizon because again, everyone has equity. They have a chance to sell and walk away with equity or borrow against the equity if there's a job loss or sickness or God forbid something else that's come around that was unforeseen.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And it's really good insight on the market. I would love for you to talk about Hoot Home Loans, and kind of what makes you guys different and what makes it different to go with someone like you rather than maybe a more traditional establishment.
So one of the biggest benefits of, just working with a broker in general. So we're licensed in 25 states. We're actually a brand new brokerage. We're VC funded. So we're funded by Streamline Venture, which also funded DoorDash as well as AppLovin. So, but they've already seen our vision or the Hoot business plan
Yeah.
as one of the best to have come in recent years. One of the biggest benefits of working with a broker is we do the shopping for you. So we have 36 funding partners. So we have access to every single program. The biggest difference between a broker and a direct lender evaluates their risk, and that's the only clients they want to take on. So typically it's, your good credit score, your cookie cutter clients that have never had life happen to them. I can't tell you the amount of times I've had people who were turned away from like their own bank or credit union where we were able to help out and put them into a home. So one of the biggest benefits with working just with a broker directly is having more options and typically much better cost down price combination. As far as who, we actually have some of the most influential people who have been in the industry in our executive suite. Everyone who's been working on this project is very passionate about what we do. And one of the biggest benefits working directly with Who is truly just the men and the women that are part of this. The way everyone has come together, the way our clients are treated, our process is unmatched, as well as we have exclusive pricing and programs. So we actually, our website, we're getting ready to launch. So I don't want to, I don't want to disclose more than more essentially than but it's just a matter of time before you'll start seeing our little purple owl absolutely everywhere.
Excellent.
But we have again our exclusive pricing. On average, we're able to help homeowners about $300 to $500 a month on the first year in their mortgage, as well as about 2% lower than where the market is, and then 1% lower on the second year. So we have the programs, we have the products, we have the savings, we have the incredible men and women that are working on this. So yeah, it's gonna be one heck of a project, and I'm so excited for it.
That's so exciting. Congratulations. And you guys have some unique programs for first-time home buyers, correct?
So that, again, basically what we call a 2-1 buy down. We have in-house real estate agents. We're able to, on average, save about $300 to $500 the first year you're in a home versus our competition, which is huge, especially as you're making that transition and furnishing a brand new home and whatever else life throws at you.
Yeah. And what do you wish more new home buyers knew about borrowing money?
I think just truly is just not making sure that you have the right team behind. Most homeowners ask about rate because I almost feel like that's all we know how to ask. But at the end of the day, we don't pay an interest rate every month. We pay a dollar amount. So understanding how the process works, understanding how to properly vet your real estate agent and your mortgage advisor and all the people that are going to guide you and direct you to make one of the largest financial decisions that you so, just like anything else, when we shop on price, we don't always get the value. And in our industry, it is very common where, not, I wish it wasn't as common, but it is relatively common where bait and switch happens, especially if you're not aware on what to watch out for. So what ends up happening is, you're given one set of numbers, and then by the time you get to close, all those numbers change, but you've already been in process for, call it 30 to 45 days, where at that point you're just gonna take whatever's on the on the table versus trying to start the whole process over. So I think properly vetting the professionals that you're working with and their credibility versus just going off of the numbers is huge. Because if they don't have any digital footprint, there's a high probability that they're brand new and just or rebranded because something else happened. Again, just properly vetting the professionals that you're working with, I think is crucial. And don't ever take the first person that tells you no as face value, because there's a ton of other people that can have so much more flexibility around what they can do. You don't want to take the first no and take it to heart or take it personal. And you most certainly don't ever want to disqualify yourself because you think your credit is struggling or you don't have enough for the down payment, or you have people in your family, and I know we all have, where it's like we get really bad financial advice from the people that really care about us sometimes, because the world they live in is very, very different than the world we live in.
Yeah.
What made sense financially for our parents is not the world we live in. We can't plan the same way they did because we're not in the same market that they were. So even though they mean well, talk to professionals is the best advice I can give.
Absolutely. I think that's such great advice. And it seems like you guys have a really good handle on everything. It would be great partners to work with. How can people find you?
So our website is hoot.com. My name is across all socials. I do live streaming 3 times a week. So I'm live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern under Sava the Lender on TikTok. And then all my social handles are first name, last name. And then I'll provide you with all my contact information. Feel free to drop it in the comments or the caption afterwards.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm actually the only Sava Shqutaj in the world, so I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah, wow. That's amazing. Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope that everybody learned something, and definitely reach out to Sava. She has so much information to share with everybody. That's awesome that you do so much online that people can, get some tips and tricks for free. So thank you for being here today.
Having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hope you have a wonderful.
Yes. Awesome. Well, everybody, please. Thank you for tuning in. Please check out Sava and Hoot, and we will see you back next time. Bye.
Have a good one.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.